So, I stopped by and picked up my Echoes of Doom box today. A friend of mine was like, I want the trees, and I was like, the Skaven half of this box sucks, but I want to support my little rat boys, so I will pick it up. So, we'll take a look at it closer in detail inside. On the back, it shows you what you get. I only got the rat boy half in here, so I did take a look at the tree sprues. They're pretty interesting. I like the vine Lady of the Vines model, but I feel like she has too much like weird stuff up here, and it kind of detracts from her. Also, I don't like that she's stepping on a like plague bearer, and there's no way to take that off. So you have to have that on the model. Also, she is on a 80-inch base, which is just a really weird base size. So, not a super fan of a couple things of this thing, but it's definitely less exciting. Like, they had to make up Skaven terrain in this photo here. See? To, like, fill in. It really feels like this box should have come with a Vermin Lord. I know that would have been way too much good value for GW. But you have the Great Screaming Bell, which is right there. You got the troops to move it. You have the troops to defend it, because these guys can, like, steal wounds. This guy hides in these troops, and then he, like, pops out. And then this eventually can turn into a Vermin Lord once it gets a little wounded. So I feel like this should have been, like, one big, like, unit, like, one big, like, box designed around this, like, life cycle of the Great Screaming Bell. So the fact that the Vermin Lord is missing, I feel like is a big... Like, it doesn't make sense to me, you know what I mean? Similarly, I do think... I don't know if she has interactions with the trees or the Spirit of Dirthu, but I know she can summon dryads, and there's none in the box, which is a little weird. But, I can't speak for tree people. I am not the Lorax. I will say, my favorite part of this box is the Skaven that's biting the tree person on the leg. Because, LOL, that's awesome. Like, this section here is just amazing. And it's also very funny. So, in graphics design, you design things that are slightly brighter and things that fall in, like, this grid shape. To like, be the focal points, right? So the focal point of this image is actually right here where the tip of her bright spear is and where her brighter boobs are. So this is like Tree Tits, the box cover, which I thought was really funny. Alright. So everything's kind of a little crazy in this box because I opened it up. Great Screaming Bell. And then there's 132 mixed in there for the Stabby Deathboard. And then you get a bunch of instructions and stuff. We'll go through those. And we got the Tree Tits picture again. And you got all of your sprues and more bases. The bases are not floating around loose like this when you buy it. They're in a little baggie. But I had to open the baggie to split the bases with my friend, so. Alright. Now, Skaven are not going to get a lot of sprues out of this box. They get technically a lot of troops, but very few sprues. So they only get 5 sprues out of this whole box. The trees I get close to double that. They get like 8 or so at least. Alright, that's the box. You do get this, which I actually don't have one of these, which is really nice. It's a little version of the rolls, the core rolls. So you don't have to lug the huge book around. I'm actually super happy to have this. Because I just don't have one of these, and it's really nice to have. So that's a very cool little thing. Alright, now our 5 sprues. First off, we've got our new Skaven. The only new model Skaven are getting this edition, which is very sad. We've got our Skaven boy here. He's on like this big tactical rock sewer piece. Not super into that because it doesn't really match the basing that I do, but it is what it is. If you'll have like this big shaw and then like a big like drippy dagger, which is pretty cool, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame. That's kind of a big shame, but he is still a very, very nice looking model. Oh. Hold on 1 second. I'm fat and my belt is digging in my belly. Here we've got some storm vermin. So you're gonna get 10 storm vermin out of this. So you'll get 3, 2, and then yep, 1 and 1. So you'll get 10 storm vermin. They're all unique sculpts. I have a box of storm vermin. I've never actually built it before. So it's gonna. Sorry, I'm off stream. There's the pike for the leader, and there's the thing for the musician, the drum, and then the drum there. You got a bunch of heads, so that's 9 heads right there. And then there's 10 and 11, 12. So you got 12 heads for 10 guys. So there are some options in there. But yeah, they're really nice. This is what we'll probably build after we end up looking at all the sprues. Occurred to me my nice nippers are downstairs, so we might have to jump downstairs and get those. And then we got everyone's favorite rat boy sprue. You know, some of them have like helmets and stuff. You can see that there's this really big disparity in them, and that's one of the things I really like about the clan rat sprue. It makes them look really cool when you put them together. They just look like this mob, and it's really nice. Then we've got our Great Screaming Bell Sprue, or the Plague Furnace. You do not get instructions or rules for the Plague Furnace, but you get everything for the Great Screaming Bell. Really nice dual kit. You will get a Grey Seer on foot. You just have to do a little bit of customization with him to get him to work. Otherwise, he's like an extra bit. But you can get a Grey Seer out of this, and you can get a Plague Priest out of this, depending if you build the Great Screaming Bell or if you build the Plague Furnace. There's also a Rat Ogre on this sprue, right there, that I've seen people turn into an independent like Rat Ogre who's like throwing a like mace and chain, which is really cool. So I actually might try. That was a can of Pringles falling out of my trash bag. I might actually try to do that, where it's the guy swinging like a ball and chain or something. I'm probably going to build this one as the Plague Furnace, so I'll be using that big piece there. It means I'm going to have it highly recommend you paint this. You prime this black if you're going to glue it to the base. Alright, so that's all the sprues from the Skaven side. Let's take a look at some of the cardboard. So first off, you get these nice little Echoes of Doom thingies here. They are essentially like your war scrolls. They're really nice. You can see this one's got to fold out just because it's just because it has so many rules on this thing, which is kind of neat. It can turn into a Vermin Lord. It does magic essentially, and it can do bits and bobs. Your guy can like cast stuff and all from it. The really neat thing about this is that it requires people around it to move it. So you have to have basically like 10 rats around it to push it into the battle. Hello! Which is really cool. It's a really fun sort of thematic rule for it. The rest of its rules, I like this Stirring Behind the Veil one. I do think it is unnecessarily complex. I actually had a long discussion about this one when it was first announced because it didn't make sense to me. Like I had misread part of it, and like the entire rule just wasn't adding up. So I am not a super big fan of that, but you know, I do think there's a little bit of klutziness in some of those rules. Just a little bit overly complex. We've got a couple things in here. We've got another War Scroll. This one's for the Clan Rat. They will probably not be respawning them as quickly as they're losing them, but it's a really neat roll, and it feels very thematic. There is another War Scroll somewhere. There they are. There's a War Scroll for the Storm Vermin. The neat thing about them, yeah, they can get a musician. The really cool thing about them is that they can just take wounds off stuff, off of heroes and all, which is pretty cool. And then the Deathmaster. The Deathmaster, he's the new model. His interesting thing is that he can essentially... he like hides in a unit and then pops out. And he can like run and shoot, which is sort of like they don't get to roll or save against it. They just take mortal wounds. So there's that. I mean, it's kind of cool. He does have 5 wounds, so he's like a little like Lobi hero assassinator kind of guy. That's what he is. So kind of cool. Definitely a neat model. And then you get a book with instructions, just talking about clan rats, storm vermin, more storm vermin, and the Great Screaming Bell. All of the trees here, so like damned or arcane and terrain. There's a ruler, which is kind of weird. Objective markers, things for command points. Yeah, just kind of cool. And you can see that like they're different on each side. So like if you cast Flaming Weapon, there's a thing for it there. So yeah, just neat little set of objective markers. And then this surprisingly big book. This is the Echoes of Doom book. It is surprisingly beefy. There we go. We got Tree Tits there on the cover. We got her. And the Great and Perfect Raid. There's some fallback. There's some stuff for them. Please, GW, for the love of fuck, please make some more Skaven art. You literally use this picture every time you need a picture of a Skaven. Please, this has been on the cover of the like Battle Tome for 2 editions now. Please make some new fucking Skaven art. Like, please. There's a bunch of stuff on the Realm of Life. History of the Realm of Life. There's some kind of Deathmaster. And pictures of the models. Pictures of the models. Just like a full color section. And then these are the battle plans for this box. So you can play with just the models in here if you want There's all of the War Scrolls. You do get pop-outs for all of these. Again, I only have just the Skaven ones. But there's the pop-outs for the War Scrolls. And then there are points and stuff. Since the books are probably going to be a couple months away. The books will probably be a couple months away. I would expect them at the very earliest after Horus Heresy. So you're talking at least a couple weeks still. Maybe we'll get them after that. But in the interim, if you're going to play, there's some points in there for you. Which is pretty cool. So, we're going to probably take a look at a little bit of hobby stuff. And then we'll probably build some guys. We'll probably build up the new Deathmaster, and maybe we'll build up the Storm Vermin too. I gotta go get my nippers from downstairs. So I'm gonna go do that really quick, and then I will be back. Alright. Yeah, that's all the cardboard you get. So I will be right back. And then we'll take some look at some stuff. I got one of the blind boxes. We'll open that up. I got some other bits and bobs that are fun. And yeah, then we'll build some of this Skaven stuff. It'll be cool. I have flocking everywhere. So we'll take a look at some more Battletech terrain too, and these knights here that I've been working on, and all kinds of stuff. So with that, I will be right back. Alrighty, and now I'm back from downstairs. Not outer space. So, before we get building, let's look at some hobby stuff. And some other bits and bobs I picked up. So I picked up a excuse me, I am super tired apparently. Clan Invasion Salvage, random mech. The Storm Crow, who is a weird looking little robot. Look at him, he's weird, isn't he? He's like a helicopter had sex with a robot. Kind of neat though. His feet are really neat because he's got like these two toes on the back there. See that? He's got like two toes on the back there. It's kind of cool. Yeah, pretty cool little robot. That is the Stormcrow. I also, of all the random things, bought some stickers. Stickers for a couple for $1. So I picked some of them up. This one's going on my laptop. And the rest are for one of my high school work studies, because it was her birthday. So I thought she'd get a kick out of some stickers. But the little rocket one's going on my laptop. That one's for me. The rest are for her. Alright. And that was pretty much about it for the haul for the hobby shop. However, been working on some bits of terrain for Battletech. So we've got more of this Alpha Strike terrain that I've been working on right here. So I've got a bunch of these like half-size squares, because the other set of terrain I have is like double as long. So it's like a whole block kind of thing, or it's like 2 blocks and this is like 1 block. These guys still need to be primed. Not primed. They need to be top-coated so the flocking stays on the trees, just to be sure. But I did up 7 of these. Some of them have some pretty beefy buildings in it, like these guys here. Pretty chunkalicious buildings, some of these are. Chunkalicious. But yeah, they're going to make really nice additions to my existing terrain setup, right? Because like this guy, he can totally hide behind that building, right? And the little thick bases, that's about like it's almost the height of a base, so it makes the buildings a little bit more to scale, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, so they're pretty cool. I did up 7 of these. They're just fun. Also 3D printed a bunch of mechs recently. There's a Centurion. Pretty cool. And I've been 3D printing some of the jackals from one-page rules. So these are like furry desert trooper guys. They're really, really cool. That one's got a flamethrower, which is awesome. There's a bunch with like melee weapons. And a bunch with like rifles and stuff. So they're really cool. They're from last month's one-page rules. This month's one-page rules has the same guys, but it has all the heavy weapon elite versions. Plus it has a super heavy that is legitimately like a foot tall and 2 feet long. Like it's a massive rolling monster weapons platform. It is cool as hell. I'm going to try to 3D print it because it is awesome. Also, we got some we got some Tyranids on the go. Here's my guy. He's going to be, all my Tyranids are water, like a Kraken or something, which is pretty cool. There he is. He's pretty sweet. And then last but not least, I've got a bunch of custom cultists for Nurgle. So these are built out of some kit bash pieces from Anvil Industries that I 3D printed and put together. They're made out of the post-apocalyptic set, and the you can see where my thing had a printing error there, but I was like, oh, I can put it on this block, it'll be fine, and I'll just paint up around it, it'll look fine. But they're made out of the post-apocalyptic set and the pieces from the Armored Renegades set. So they're pretty sweet. I have a lot of bits for these left, but there's dudes and ladies, and yeah. And they're just going to make fun little cultists for one-page rules. Just so I can have some shooting if I also want to play zombies or something. So yeah, so that's all the hobby stuff pretty much caught up. Minus, we'll show off my quote-unquote Black Knight. show him off here as well. There he is. You can see his waist is all magnetized. His waist is actually double magnetized. This is a resin waist extender. It's actually like a ball joint. So I can add or take it off if I want to, as I feel like it. All the weapons and stuff are magnetized. Little guns are magnetized. Is Squire to go with the knight. So that's the guy that matches right there. Again, he's all magnetized as well. This hand's actually double magnetized, just for posing fun times. He's magnetized in the waist, the same kind of waist extender. This one's actually double magnetized as well. But yeah, normally I don't like the waist extenders, but I wanted to do it on these guys because I felt it would give them a little bit different look from my other knights. But yeah, there they are. And that's pretty much all my hobby recently. Yeah, so I'm probably just going to be painting these guys, and that's going to be my next big goal, and then go from there, you know? Yeah. But right now, let's build. Okay. All right, Clan Rats, Vermin, Bell. There we go. All right. So this guy with his weird big tunnel base goes on the 32. So I was gonna play one-page rules today, like last weekend, because I had an awesome time last weekend. Honestly, I'm just a little beat. Yeah, just a little low energy. I think for, you know, more than I should be for, like, you know, setting up and playing a game with myself kind of thing, you know. Because they are extremely fun, but they do also take your energy, especially when you're running, you know, you're running the stream, you're running the game, you're playing the game, you're trying to have fun playing the game. Like, it you know, it does have a toll, you know, that you do feel, even though you're having a good time, you know. It's like when you go to like a theme park or something, right? Like, you're having a good time, but, like, you know, at the end you're like, oof, man, that caught up to me, you know. Same kind of thing. And I just did not feel like I had the energy to do a particularly good job at it today. So yep. So holding off. It is such a shame this is all the Skaven are getting. Like, kills me. Skaven are the coolest race GW has ever made. Like, in any setting. And they're easily my favorite. And I do not get the love they deserve for how cool they are. Overall, I will say this box is also not particularly good for Skaven. Like, all the units in here all interact with each other, which is really neat. But none of them, like, I don't know, none of them are like mind-blowingly neat. You know what I mean? Like, the Great Screaming Bell's a really cool unit. This Deathmaster is a really cool unit. But there's nothing here that's like You know, like you're gonna set it on the table and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, cool!" You know. You got some troops in here. You got some heavier troops, and you got like 2 characters essentially. The Great Screaming Bell is a neat unit, but it's not like a. I don't know. It's like it just doesn't blow your dick off. You know what I mean? Like it like you don't see it and you're like, man, that's a really cool army defining thing. You know. You know, it's not like a Vermin Lord or Hell Pit Abomination or even Thankful. Like Thankful's smaller than the Great Screaming Bell, but the whole way, like his unit, like because he's got like the fire, it's like swinging around with all the forearms and stuff. It really like it has presence. You know what I mean? The Great Screaming Bell has that a little bit, but I don't know. Just dry fitting that to make sure I understand how it connects. Alright. Before I put that dagger hand on, there's probably going to be a little fiddly. So it looks like it literally just, like, there's no, like, point or anything for it. So I'm going to put him on the base first to make it slightly less fiddly. Yep. And then what I've got. Oh, the head is 3 pieces. Weird, okay. Weird. That's it for that sprue. GW. This head does not need to be 3 pieces, honey. This is really fiddly. So fiddly, you guys probably can't even see it. It probably looks like I'm holding just a little black dot. Like it is. I guess it seems to slot in really easily. But man, it's, yeah, hope you've got good motor control, because if you don't, this model's going to suck for you to build. This does not need to be 3 pieces, GW. Like, real talk, like... If you do have any, like, motor control issues, you are going to have a bad time with this model. There's the tiniest little knob on the back of the ear. There we go. Okay. That was a lot more fiddly than I thought it would be. Alright. Good to know. Good to know. He looks damn cool assembled. But man, that was some fiddly fucking shit. I'll tell you what. distracted by the fiddliness of this model, and I know I'm not talking about anything meaningful besides, man, this guy kind of sucks to build. But yeah, there he goes. He looks really nice assembled. He looks fantastic assembled, but he's a little rough to build for sure. You definitely got to pay attention. The multi-part head is dumb, and the fact that there's no like connection point for the wrist is dumb. There's no like peg or tooth or anything for it. It's all just glue it to the piece. But yeah, he looks really good. Looks really, really good. Alright, so that's him all done. Let's put some clan rats on. No, let's do some sword vermin. They're a little more interesting. Alright. Okay, so it looks like there is there's 3, 4, 3 bodies, and it looks like they go to specific backs of bodies. Alright, so we got to find those bodies. So let's find the bodies, we'll clip them out, and then we'll put them here, and then we can find the backs and put them there, and that's what we'll do. That's how we'll do this. So, it will probably be a little bit before we get this battle tome. Which is kind of a shame because the Skaven are my favorite. Big Skaven fan. You know what I can do? I can clip them all out and then match them up. That's the best way to do it. So it'll probably be a little bit. Part of that is the fact that the Horus Heresy is going on a multiple week. Hold on, wait. Did they make this make sense? Holy shit, I think they did. Hold up. I think this makes sense. Okay. These bottom 3 here are these 3. Those 3 bodies go to those 3 backs. Okay. My stream is buffering a lot. Interesting. I'm sorry. Should it be? Anybody else tell me if they're having issues with it? Just let me know. I shouldn't be running into issues, but just let me know. Alright, so those 3 will go to those 3 backs right there. Alright. And then if we follow that same logic, these 3 here should go to these 3 fronts here. Which they do. Look at that. And then these 2 should go to these 2. Which I think they do. Yeah, and then this guy can go to that, and then this can go to that. Okay, so yeah, since we don't need a ton of variation, we're just gonna build them at like near the runner. I'm content with that. Since there's only 10 of them, we're not gonna have any duplicates. Since it's 10 unique sculpts. Seems better now. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, not getting that from anybody else. Or at least they haven't said anything, but I have some people in chat that I think would say something if it was buffering weird. It's all... It is all Horus heresy at the moment. Over at GW. On all the GW media. I do gotta say, the Age of Darkness box looks really nice. It's just so much stuff. It's exciting. It's this big box. Everyone's excited. Oh my god, the hype. But I know I will literally never play it. So I will not be watching it. You know, with COVID and everything, it makes playing really hard. Like, a lot of people are just getting tired of dealing with COVID and stuff. But I'll admit I've relaxed on it a little, but still, you know, with Hawaii's numbers going back up, I'm not super into it. Especially considering I had a COVID scare last week where a friend of mine actually got it. A friend I was playing with got it. That was very scary. So I'm definitely, you know, still on the one. Shit. There we go. Alright, then we got these three guys, which can go with these three here. But yeah. It definitely does look like a good box though, but yeah, I'll be passing on that. I've actually been feeling a little like behind in my hobby. So I'm going to... This is the last thing I'm planning on buying until the new Chaos Cultist stuff comes out. So when the new Chaos Space Marine stuff comes out, I'll pick up a bunch of stuff from that release, but until then I'm probably not going to buy anything. I'm probably going to be just trying to catch up on my own little hobby. Particularly, I'm really trying to target my Tyranids. Because I want to use them for one-page rules. I really want to get them on the table with that. I think it'll be really fun. I really like how I paint my Tyranids. But last time I showed them to my mom, she was like, "When are you going to paint them?" And I was like, "They're already painted." Because I usually do a couple tone gray. And so I've been trying to think of a way to spruce them up a little bit. I have this guy here that I've actually been testing different things out on with a bunch of the... he looks like shit, obviously. He's like my test. I've been testing out different of the speed paints to see how they behave. So like this is a fluorescent pink mixed with speed paint. This is two different speed paints. This is a couple different speed paints. Just to see what they do, right? To see how they behave. You know, because I like to have as many different painting kind of things in my arsenal as possible. So, testing out different paints on him. What I'm thinking about doing now is that I'm actually just going to paint some markings. Test something. That buffering thing's got me wondering. Okay. They actually are having a bunch of problems. Interesting. If I can, we'll keep going. Okay. Let's actually just call it so I can try to figure this out, because I'm having some... There's definitely some issues here. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. We're dropping a ton of frames. I'm not sure why. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll call it there. I was just going to build these guys and whine about Horus Heresy, but it's all good. Yeah, next week we'll play more one-page rules. Maybe I'll try to finish up some of these jackals and get them on the table. It'll be fun. And I will catch you guys next time.